power enough to move from a bad situation into an even much better situation. And even if I was denied in any other place, God always has a way to make you a winner. God always is building better and bigger programs for people like me that get bullied in all sorts of different places. God has a backup plan always. So never be afraid to lose, because people like in the comments always love to be big bullies, right? You don't even have power. Have you ever even seen poverty? Have you ever even been in poverty? If you've never even been there and rose from it, then you can't even talk. So it's just like, these sound like teenagers. Adults, real adults, because nowadays we have adults that even act like teenagers, but real adults don't even say things like this. Real educated people don't even say things like this. They don't understand the meaning of power. They think power is being this big person right now, this big person. They want you to see you be. They don't know how far you've come. They don't know how low you were. Right? Even if they see how low you are, the people that are commenting are actually seeing how low I am. That's why they're saying the things that they're saying. But now that I'm here, I didn't get here by myself. There's a lot of people out there that are helping. So this message is not for them. This message is for the people that are not helping, the people that are so ignorant that they just laugh. They always want to blame. They're like secret bullies. And then they always want to blame the black girl. They always want to blame the poor girl. They always want to, when they're stealing themselves, they just are better thieves. They know how to brush their hair. They know how to dress good. And they know that you're going to least expect them to be the criminals. And so when people in the black community, because they're so ignorant, they refuse to learn. Those that refuse to learn, they want to follow the people. They're like, oh, can you believe my ex-best friend? Okay, there's a reason why she's my ex-best friend, Sade Thompson, right? This girl is a doctor with a freaking PhD, right? She literally tells me, I was a patient at the time, right? During the pandemic. And she literally tells me, she fakes her vaccination, right? She faked her vaccination. Now, I know how dangerous vaccinations, and I didn't know how dangerous they were until I actually got it. But I'm not the kind of person that's just going to get a PhD, be a doctor, and not get vaccinated, but lie to people that I am vaccinated. But I do understand why she would do that, because she had such a big job that she couldn't even risk the side effects or risk the consequences of taking the vaccination. But there is a bigger consequence. She ended up catching COVID-19, and COVID could have killed her. Right? So for me, in my mind, I knew how serious COVID was. And I was like, I'm not going to play with COVID. If I'm going to be a leader, if I'm going to be somebody, me being a Leo, I'm a natural born leader. If I'm going to be someone that's talking about being this person, I'm going to definitely go over there and go get vaccinated like everybody else. I'm not going to say that I wasn't vaccinated. I was vaccinated when I wasn't. If you're not vaccinated, the reason why she faked it is because they were not allowing people to work without their vaccinations. And there were a lot of people killing people because of COVID-19 in the hospitals. So I'm sitting over here, which we understand, but it's like there's a lot of people that just could not get treated, and the issue was spreading. But the issue gets spreaded when you, as a doctor, a wannabe doctor, she's not even a wannabe, she's an actual doctor. You don't do what you say you're going to do, and you're lying to everybody that you're being vaccinated, then end up catching COVID-19. And so I tell her, we go to dinner. She's my best friend. We're best friends since high school. She tells me, "Oh, let's go to dinner." Or I tell her, "Let's go to dinner." So we meet together. We go to dinner. She drives a Tesla, has her own house, balling, doing a great job, right? I'm so proud of her. I'm happy for her. But I'm not the kind of person that's just going to brush these important issues under the rug, because we're here to solve these issues. We cannot keep doing them, making the same mistakes and expecting the rest of the world to do it, because they're going to say, well, these leaders are doing it. Then why don't we do it? If they're going to be criminals, then we're going to be criminals too. If they're going to make lies, then we're going to don't do what they do. Be the difference maker. Don't follow their footsteps, because a lot of them have skills to get away with their crimes. And if you don't have those same skills, you're going to end up getting caught because you're following the wrong people. Don't follow them. They'll get caught at their own time when God is ready or the universe is ready to catch them. But you following their footsteps is not going to make things better for you. So in the Black community, a lot of people think that this is what she said. They're like, oh, well, you know how white people stole America from the Indians. White people did this. You know how white people stole this. White people did that. White people, every dollar that you see roaming around the United States is a white man on there. You don't see a Spanish man. You don't see a Black man on that dollar. This is their country. They opened their doors to us. They needed us too, just as much as we need them. So they know how to have each other's back more than anything. So if you try to do the same schemes that they may be doing, or that they did, they're going to catch you and arrest you. And you're going to be in bigger trouble because they got each other's back more than anything. That's how they're going to survive. But a lot of them, even after stealing this country from the Indians, they've done a lot more than what the Indians were doing with this country. What were the Indians doing? Because from every movie that I saw, they were all wearing skirts just that only cover their balls and no shirts. But when the white man took over the country, all of a sudden everybody's clothed. Everybody's leaving their country to come to America to make money. They're the only country that even says in God we trust, because God is with them. God was with them. God said, take it. Because if you don't know what to do with the power that you have or the property that you have, somebody's going to take that shit. Because somebody's going to say, well, you know what? Because I can take it, and I'm going to take it because I know what you're doing with it is nothing. You don't know what you have, so you can't do much with it. So it's going to sit there until somebody takes it right out of your hands. It wasn't stolen from them. It was handed to the whites by God. It was handed to them. He said, I'm going to show you how to win. Because these people, they're not doing nothing with it. They don't know what they're doing. So back to her, right? So she kept telling me her story. So she's married. She dates white guys. She's married. She got a white boyfriend right now. I feel like she targets white men. Because the way she talks about white men to me, I'm like, how are you dating a white guy and you talking shit about them like this? You literally are a trap. You're trapping them, right? Why don't you just stick to your people if you really feel this way about white people? Because that's not how I feel. You're talking about a woman that came from Africa that was saved from Africa. There is no day that I had anybody in the Black community save my life the way they saved my life. The way they made and built a country for me to come home to. Away from my own country where my own quote unquote own people try to kill me right there and nobody would ever know. Not saying all of them, because the very few people that saved me were doctors in the hospitals. They saved my life, and it was by the grace of God. So when I have a place to come home to, I finally come to America, get fed better, get treated better, get the right medication, get the right vaccinations. Where I'm being healed. And so she's talking to me, and she's a person born in America. So she doesn't understand where she comes from. She doesn't understand why she was brought here. She doesn't understand the opportunity that she has, the education that she has. So many people in Africa would love to have her place. So many people in Africa wish they were born here so they can have the opportunities that America has, the educational system that America has. So a lot of those ignorant black people, they don't understand the value of the United States and the places and the programs that have been given to them, the opportunity for being here that has been given to them. Right? So she comes up to me thinking we're like besties, and we were at the time, but she has evil in her heart, right? And they try to call me brainwashed. Oh, you on their side. I'm going to be on the side that's doing right by me and doing right by the people in this country. Any country I go to, I'm almost like a person that's like, I could take this shit if it's not being done right, if God gives me the permission to. I'm not saying I'm trying to take this place, but I'm saying any country that I go to, any place that you go to, if you see that it's not being done right, if you have the power and the gifts to be able and the authority by God to be able to take over the same way God made the white people take over this country and take it from the Indians, he could do that for you. Don't think he can't. Don't think that America didn't start from nothing. This place started from nothing and it was built. And because of a generous heart opening their doors to foreigners, we're here where we are. And then foreigners, there's a lot of foreigners that come to this country trying to make demands where it's like, okay, well, you can make those demands, but you have to do a lot more proof of what you're going to do if you're going to stay here. Because we don't want you to come here to create problems in the African American community. You come from Mexico, you come from wherever, but you go and you start abusing and making and falling into their trap. You ignore them and you be quiet and you build and you go somewhere else. Because if you start joining with them and start making fun of each other and start doing all this stupid stuff, how different, you're no different from them. I had to get out the hood because I can't help you while I'm in it. I got to get out of it. I'm not affected by it. And I can continue to do my work, whatever work it is that God asks me to do. So she comes talking to me and she's like, she gets married. She marries so she goes online. She targets the guys white guys, of course, because she's educated. She goes to school. She's smart. She graduates, gets her PhD. And trust me, I don't even think she probably was smart enough to even cheat. They probably let her. Like, I know my sister Charlotte told me that she had somebody helped her pass a test. But you know what? Charlotte deserved that because she was so generous that we're glad that somebody was even kind enough to let her pass whatever test that she passed to graduate from college. And my friend Sade was generous. She was always helping. But there are people that help because they know they don't help because they want to. They help because they know there is a power in helping. They're manifesting their dreams. They don't have to have a heart. They don't have to want to help you. They do it because they know that there is a reward that comes regardless when you open your heart. So growing up, I always felt like she was a beautiful person on the inside, but she was easily influenced by the people around her because she was desperate for friends, desperate to be loved, desperate to be liked. So it could be especially pretty girls, and she was like bisexual or whatever. So if a pretty girl came up to her, they could easily allure her. Like my ex-best friend Jamie was one of the beautiful girls, the prettiest girls in the entire crew. She was head over heels for her. She would do anything for her, even if this girl was mean to her. Finally, she let go of that girl. Once she dropped that girl, she finally went to college and graduated. She had a focus, right? So she goes and she goes and dates this white guy that was a veteran in the military. Guess what? When you marry a veteran, you get benefits. You get benefited from it. They pay for your college. They pay for everything. They pay for this. They pay for that. There is so many benefits that comes from marrying a veteran. So she knew exactly what she was doing. And maybe she did fall in love at some point. I don't think she did. So the guy talks to me and tells me, he sees me and I look at him and I'm like, oh, wow, Sade, be careful with people from the military because a lot of those people, they suffer from mental illnesses. And I really wouldn't want you to be with somebody that's going to end up hurting you or killing you. These are natural. These are trained killers, right? She was like, he's fine. He's a cool guy. He's cool. There's nothing wrong with him. I was like, okay, as long as you're happy and you feel safe around him, there's nothing wrong with that. I loved her. And I still have love for her. And I feel like she's just trying to survive, right? But then I feel bad whenever these guys come up to me and then they're like, you're the girl that you're praising and you're saying she's your best friend. That's what those white guys would tell me. That's what he told me. He's like, the girl that you're calling your best friend, she's messed up. She's wrong. She's evil, this and that. I know that. Like, I didn't know that. I was blinded, but I knew it deep down, but I couldn't believe it. He told me, like, I was like, you're right. Because when I was younger, she used to do some messed up stuff to me. She's a follower. The minute somebody says, because I remember when I used to live in this apartment and I invited her and I introduced her to my friends, my guy friends. They were cute. They didn't have money, but they were cute. They were nice, at the time, but then they became assholes, right? But they weren't assholes at the time. So these girls were Hollywood girls. They weren't like prostitutes, but they wanted older basketball players, some guys that would lift them up. There is nothing wrong with aiming high. Nothing wrong with wanting a man that's already doing good, especially when you're a beautiful woman. Why give yourself to a man that's not even trying, right? But I was trying to just be like, hey, look at these guys, they're cool. I like them. And I liked one of the guys named Syke. He was mixed with Asian and black. He was cute. I was like, oh, I like them. So they got mad because these guys were not educated. I'm sorry. I pulled the wrong guys. I just went by their looks, I was trying to give them a chance, and an opportunity. I saw them as beautiful guys. I didn't see them because they didn't have money, I saw them as people that needed to be loved and cared for. And I liked one of the guys, like the mixed one, right? So she was like, I don't know what he said to her. I don't know what they did, but they realized like, these are not the guys we're trying to talk to. And so she's like, Jamie, come on, Sade, let's go. She's like, oh, let's leave this bum ass bitch, you bum ass bitch. So they talked to me, telling me, this bum ass bitch, let's get this bum ass bitch out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here, fucking bum. They were calling me a bum, right? So I was living with my friend Sherelle at the time. She's living with her mother. They're both living with they're still living with their mother, right? And so they're like, let's leave this bum ass girl around. I was hurt because they were my friends and they talked to me like that. They were supposed to be my friends and they were talking to me like that. I was not even talking to them like that. And whenever I went to the beach, I would hook them up with some badass guys. I'm just not I'm not a gold digger. Of course, I want a guy that has everything, but it doesn't mean that a guy that doesn't have much, I won't give a guy that doesn't have all the money in the world an opportunity to date me. I'm not that kind of girl. And so if my heart beats for you, I'm not looking at your pockets. I'm looking at your soul. I see more value in your soul, in the person that you are. If you got problems, I can see if I can try to help you with those problems. We could try to work things out. If I love you enough, if this relationship is real, if God says so, right? And so we go to the beach and we meet some beautiful black guys, right? So he comes up. I don't meet them. See, these kind of girls were more dominant. And so Jamie is the kind of girl that she gets hit on by all sorts of guys. They love her. She's light-skinned. She got in the black community, they love light-skinned girls. She's light-skinned. She got the eyelashes going. She got the big, juicy, sexy lips going. So, I was never a hater of Jamie. I thought she was beautiful. I was a big fan too, but I wasn't like all over her. She was a bigger fan of me than anything, right? Got me drunk and ended up getting me in bed or whatever. And then gets mad because I wasn't chasing her, right? That's because I'm just not interested in females like that. It doesn't matter. Like, girls are sexy, but I'm just not. I'm not into girls. We could be friends if you're the kind of girl that's going to do something. Like, if you're just going to hang out, like, are you going to model? Are you going to date some of these guys around me? Because I can't fuck every single person in this room, right? So are you going to start collecting? Like, we got to do something together. I can't just have beautiful women around me doing nothing, just hanging out, doing nothing. And then when I tell you, hey, my dude wants to talk to you, what's up? He got a couple thousands in his pocket. Like, he wants to just have dinner, or he wants to date you, right? And you got to give me a piece of that profit. I mean, we could split a little bit of that. Like, yeah, like we're talking business. No girls hanging around me with nothing, not collecting nothing. We got bills to pay. Why would you even live in my apartment? Bye. Right? So I'm a hustler, but I'm not a madam. I'm not none of that. But I just know that if I'm about to lay on my back, if I had to lay on my back, bitch, you got to lay on your back. You can't eat off of me, but not work. You got to work. And you got arms and legs. What's your excuse? Too good for what? Too good for who? I done fuck some old ass men. And I done fuck some fucking youngsters. And I done fuck some, all races. Put my life on the line. And for you to just hang out, go figure out what you're going to do. If you have to just be a model. If we got deals to make, we got deals to make. And I'm going to get a part of that if I'm hooking you up with my connections. And I'm going to make sure that you're an honest woman before I hook you up with my honest men. So she's dating this veteran, and she ends up getting married to him. And, there was a vibe between us, but I wasn't really into him like that. I think it was his energy that I was affected by, but I never went home thinking about him. Then one time I become homeless all over again, sleeping outside. And my best friend comes up to me at the time. My ex-best friend comes up to me and she's like, oh, I'm like, can you help me get a sleeping bag? Help me this and that, help me. So she ends up taking me to Target, spends about $500 on me, buying sleeping bag, buying food, buying everything. The only thing that I hated was that it took so long for her to even do those favors for me. Like, it took me asking her, like, how is it you got a best friend telling you her situation, but you're waiting for her to ask you? Like, the minute my best friend comes up to me and tells me, yo, my mom did this, my mom kicked me out, this is what's happening, I'm literally on the sidewalk, babe, I'm coming to help you out, babe, you need some food, babe, I'm about to do this, babe, you can sleep in my car, babe, you can do, that's the type of female I am. But for her, it's like, I'm going to buy you a sleeping bag, and you can stay on that corner, you can stay right there. She lives in a 3-bedroom house with a garage. I'm like, can I sleep in your garage? She's like, nope. My husband says that it messes up friendships. So you leaving me on the street is not going to mess up our friendship? When you have 3 bedrooms and a garage and a car, and I can't sleep on the corner of your house to feel a little safer, at least next to my friend? That's not my best friend. You're not my best friend. You're a liar. You're trying to take advantage of me the minute you get that advantage, because people that don't have, like, what they don't know is they locked the USCIS locked my social security number, and because they put me down as a victim of an identity theft, because people try to steal my identity because of my vulnerability. Because when I couldn't fill out my own USCIS papers, when I couldn't fill out for my own green card, she was so fast to do that. And I appreciate that she did that. That makes you look like you're trying to collect information. And she's like, I care about you. I love you. No, you care about what the information you can get from me, so you can give it to someone else. Because in the Black community, they do that a lot. They grab immigrants and they try to use their stuff and try to get them out of this country. But immigrants are the only ones that are actually working. And when they see that they're the ones actually taking the job, now they finally like, okay, yeah. Now let's get it together. We need to straighten up because we ain't got nowhere else to go. But then you want to make fun of an immigrant. Right? And see, I don't talk about immigrants. I talk about immigrants that are actually doing a good job. I talk about immigrants that come to this country to waste fucking time. They just come to talk shit. They use this platform to waste time. Go back to your country. We don't need you here. You're wasting time. Go fix your problems over there. We don't even want to hear from you. You don't have any power. No, you don't have any power. Last time I checked, I beat death. Because people that talk like that probably haven't conquered any demons yet. But those demons will be sent to you, and you're probably not going to beat them because of the way you talk. Because you lose the minute you try to think you're about to bully someone else. You lost the battle already when you chose to be the villain. So she's sitting there, and and her husband ends up calling me one day because he must have felt that I was going through something. I wasn't on the street at the time. I was living with my ex-birth mother. He must have felt that I was going through something. And whatever I was going through, he calls me, and he wanted me, he heard that I was a massage therapist, and he wanted me to give him a massage. And he was like, if you could do a little bit more for me, I can give you a little more too. Why not? I didn't want to do it. I felt bad. That day I was touched and I was turned on, and I won't lie, I was literally like masturbating because I was like turned on, but I feel like that's his energy. He's telepathically, he sent me the energy that he felt, and I felt it, and I couldn't believe what I was feeling. And so I just fell for it, and I masturbated, and I didn't like the fact that I was doing that, but I was like, I couldn't control what I was receiving. He was sending messages off to me that my body, and I believe that he knew as a soldier that, oh, this queen needs some healing, so let me send her this energy. And his energy definitely healed me, and it definitely made me feel better. I was like, I knew you liked me, but I wasn't paying attention to it. And I'm very flattered, and I appreciate, because I was feeling the ugliest. I was feeling so sad about myself. I was feeling so ugly. I was so ready to kill myself. I was feeling so bad that he came and he literally saved my life just by saying that he liked me. Right? I don't get off on taking people's men. He's smart. He saw that. He was like, this woman next to me is trash. She can't even take care of her best friend. And her best friend is sending her all these gifts, little gifts of the little money that she has. But she can't even take this money and send her clothes, buy her food, put her in a hotel. But she not even invite her because she knew her husband was wanting me there. So she's like, you can't come here. That's understandable. But it didn't stop him from sneaking in her phone and getting my number. Because I was like, where did your husband get my number from? She was like, oh, we were talking and I told him you were a massage therapist. But I told him you weren't ready to work because you were going through something. You're right, I was. But the things that he told me, he was like, they were making fun of you. And I believe they were. She's fake. She'll smile in your face. And she'll giggle behind your back when other people make fun of you. And then she'll say, I'll never make fun of you. Giggling is the same thing as making fun of your best friend. It's the same exact thing.